Welcome back to Ms. World Traveler. Spokane's own Gonzaga University recently burst onto the national scene with the success of their men's basketball team. But it's actually been around since 1887.
Founded by Father Joseph Cataldo and named after 16th century Italian Jesuit Aloysius Gonzaga, the university, originally conceptualized as a school for the local Indian tribes, encompasses 105 buildings on 131 acres and still adheres to its original mission of a quality religious education to fit students for a successful career in life. And that they did with one of their most famous students. Not only did he record the single most popular record ever, White Christmas, he also recorded the most number one hits, 38, which is over double Elvis Presley's 18. And he grew up in a charming house on the campus of Gonzaga University. In its original 1911 location, this 4-bed, 2-bath house was the childhood home of Spokane's native son, Bing Crosby, one of the most popular and prolific recording artists of the 20th century. Born May 3, 1903, Bing attended Gonzaga University, intending to become a lawyer. But music and stardom lured him to LA in 1925, where his career was launched on the vaudeville circuit. That was just the beginning. Between 1927 and 1962, he scored 386 charted records, a benchmark that has never been broken, performed the highest-selling single, which has now surpassed over 50 million copies, won a 1944 Academy Award, and is credited with revolutionizing the recording industry by financing and popularizing the development of tape. Containing more than 200 items, including photos, trophies, gold records, and his Oscar, the Bing Crosby House Museum has free admission and free parking. Not far from Gonzaga is the North Monroe district, known for its antique and vintage stores.
So, Chris, I think the first thing I have to ask you, this building is so interesting. Right here on the corner, it's kind of an interesting shape. What brought you here?
Well, I guess the building, yeah. We were up in the Garland district for 3 years, and then our lease expired there. And we were looking for a new home because I have a large collection of neon signs that wouldn't fit into our old space.
Right.
And so I really wanted to kind of combine our neon collection with the store. And so we were just driving by here in such an iconic building, like you said.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, well, let's, and it's for
Is
lease,
it meant
you know?
to be?
Yeah. And we walked in and the realtor said, yeah, right away. So yeah, It was fantastic.
We have a lot of tall things. I mean, some of these signs, they were up high, so they're really big.
Absolutely.
And you need a pretty good sized space, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you see Dan's, like it's only 6 inches from the ceiling. So yeah,
I saw that.
At our old place, we just ran out of room. So
Right.
yeah.
Well, you don't want to stop the collection. You want to have room to build more, right?
Absolutely. On my property, I have about 15 large neon signs like this, and they light up every night. That's where most of this collection comes from. So yeah.
So how did you get started? Because it's an interesting thing to collect.
Well, it's a piece of history that gets overlooked. A lot of preservation energy goes into preserving historic buildings, obviously, and saving buildings. But most of these signs end up in the scrap heap. And there's a lot of history and nostalgia just in the signage itself.
That's true.
And so luckily, in the past 6 months or so, I've been able to partner with Spokane Preservation Advocates, and we've been able to get grant money to be able to save some of these signs. So,
Really?
yeah.
Really? So if a sign becomes available, you're like first on the list to get dibs on it.
Kinda. Well, kinda, sorta. Like it takes a lot of effort and a lot of talking to the owner and things like that. But if I find out there's a sign that's iconic, like Dan's Barbershop, that's going to come down, then I am usually the greasy wheel, you know. It's like, and I'm usually going after them and saying, "Hey, there's a piece of history that needs to be saved," you know, and I want to display it, not just hide it somewhere, you know.
Right,
so, yeah.
Do you find that the reason people take down these iconic signs are because they want a new one, or is it the business has gone out of business, or what's sort of the reason most of the time?
It's both. It's both.
Okay.
I would say more often than not, the business has gone out of business. And then,
which is sad, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, usually it ends up in a dumpster, you know. But just Dempsey's, for example, that was a historic bar here in Spokane. And I just happened to be driving by a sign shop, and I saw it sticking out of the back, and I asked, if it's for sale. So, yeah. So
Great.
A lot of these places bring back memories for people. Like, oh, I went to Rocky Rococo's. Oh, I went to the Blackbird, and so it still keeps it alive somewhat,
Right.
Yeah.
So is that some of the inspiration then for your art that you're doing, the posters?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I started with this, and I feel like the signs were just a natural progression, Yeah.
Well, this inspiration, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And somewhat they're layered because the neon sticks out and the different lighting and that sort of thing. So this layering, you were telling me that you do lots. It's layer after layer after layer, right? To get these posters.
Yeah. It's a long piece of process, especially some of them are 5, 6, 7 colors,
Right.
It takes a long time.
So as an artist then, do you come up with all the ideas, or are you getting inspiration from someplace else besides your signs? What's your process?
Well, it's a little bit of both. It mostly comes from me, but we go around to different areas of town doing street fairs. We do pop-ups and stuff like that.
Great.
And so I get a lot of feedback from people, especially locals, saying, "Oh, you know what you should do?" And then I just add it to my list, and then eventually, if I get enough requests, I do it. So, yeah.
Well, go through the screen printing process with me, just because, you can press a button and have it done for you, or like, working all day long like you're rowing, right?
Yep.
So tell me about the process.
Well, it's similar to photography in the fact that you lay down. So, actually, I'll back up. You start with a screen, which is similar to the screen door on your home.
Yes.
And then you lay down this stuff called photo emulsion, this green stuff, and then you let that dry, and then you print out each color just as a negative, basically a black and white negative. Expose that to light for 10 minutes, UV light, and then it just washes out and creates a stencil. So you do that for each color.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, kind of labor intensive, right?
Very, yeah. But I've been doing this for about 12 years now. So yeah.
So you put it on posters, you put it on T-shirts. What else?
Anything. We try to put it on mugs. We try to put it on hats. We try to put it on everything.
Is the process the same like a mug? It's a totally different shape and it's a different surface. So how is the process the same?
It's similar. The mug is similar. It picks it up and then puts it on the mug. It's a whole different process, a whole different machine.
Okay.
But yeah, it's similar. Yeah.
Well, I love your store, but
Thank
one of the
you.
things that stuck out to me was the garbage goat, because I haven't heard of that. And once I saw it here, I've seen it everywhere now.
Oh, good.
So what in the heck is the garbage goat?
Absolutely. Back in 1974 for World's Fair here in Spokane, we had an environmental theme to the expo.
That's right.
And so Sister Paula Turnbull, which was a nun, and she would weld. She was an artist as well. And so the city commissioned her to build this statue of a goat. And to go along with the environmental theme, they made it a suction goat. And so they put a vacuum inside of it, and kids press a button and it sucks the garbage right out of their hands. So and it's still there to this day. So.
You know, interesting that you say that, because I was a child
Mhm.
and my folks brought me to Expo 74.
Yeah.
And now that you say that, I remember it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that had totally left my memory.
Yep.
So thank you
Yeah.
for keeping that alive, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, and kids still enjoy it right now. So yeah.
So I know it's hard to pick. Like, it's like picking your favorite child
Yeah.
or your favorite recipe or your
Yep.
favorite food.
Yeah.
People ask me, where's your favorite country? I can't tell them.
Mhm.
You have a favorite sign?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Italian kitchen, the chef flipping the pan. I grew up looking at this sign, and it was downtown in Spokane. It's a restaurant that's still there called the Italian Kitchen. Previously, it was Luigi's, and then they moved out, and then Italian Kitchen moved in. But I saw this sign there, and it never worked. Like, it only ever partially lit up and things like that. And I decided that I was going to start bugging the owner, you know, and I said, if you're ever going to sell it, let me know. And this was a process over years, you know, it took a long time. And finally he called me up and he said, okay, I'm finally ready to sell it. It's a headache. It's a nightmare, because we've had sign companies come and they try to fix it. It's so complex, we can't get it going. And so I was finally able to acquire it. And then I brought it back to my place and I completely gutted it and started from scratch. And I was finally able to get him flipping again like he was supposed to. So it's one of the coolest pieces that I have. It's like a mini piece of Vegas, like seeing the animation going and things like that. Yeah.
Do you know what year it's from?
Oh gosh, no, I don't know. I don't know that question, but yeah. No.
But it's a special piece to you.
It's
not for sale.
Never part with that. No, never part with that. Just like your children, you know?
That's right.
Housed in the historic 1910 Boulevard building, Vintage Print and Neon embraces the buzz of legendary lighted signs and seamlessly blends them with nostalgic art of regional landmarks on apparel, posters, and just about anything else.
When I was a girl, my family would drive over to Spokane, which was the big city, and a lot of Chris's images just brought back great memories. Now, don't go away. We're stopping by the gorgeous Davenport Hotel and visiting with a ceramic artist next time on Ms. World Traveler Explores Spokane.